All right, welcome to the Maximum Edge Sports Wagering Show. My name is John Santucci. Call me Tooch. I'm here with Anthony from Pounded Sports. Anthony, how's it going tonight? We got some guests tonight going to be joining us talking Thursday night football games.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night. We got some great guests tonight. Very looking forward to looking to the show.
All right, let's bring in our first guest. We got Ladarius Brown, who's been with us before. Ladarius, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys tonight?
Doing great, man. Ready to talk some Thursday night football. And, of course, we also got Greg from G-Dog Sports. Greg, welcome back. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Let's get a suitable 4 Hollywood squares. Come on here. All right. Anthony, first up, what do we got?
We're going to talk some USF East Carolina, and this is what I call a loser bowl. This is by far the worst game of the night. Nothing says bet me. Nothing says I can't wait to watch it. I mean, this is the most depressing game of the night for sure. East Carolina at home, 2-1 against the spread. USF, like I've been saying this whole season, are a bunch of YMCA kids playing football. Just pick your poison. Which one's worse? I mean, I hate the 9.5. This is a huge stay away from me, but I'll take East Carolina to beat the YMCA kids.
This is a defense optional game, Ladarius, as you so often say. Your thoughts, East Carolina, South Florida?
Listen, I'm with Anthony on this. This, it's not as bad as what Marshall and North Texas. It's not that bad, but if I had to remind, but like when I look at South Florida, look, they're 122nd in the country in total defense. They lost 3 of their last 5. They're 121st in third down conversion percentage, a little over 30%. Like the only good thing, because I try to find something positive, because I try to be a positive person, is their running back, Javon Mangum. Yes, he's 4th in the nation in rushing touchdowns, but you couldn't tell by the way this team offensively is played anemically. But I look at East Carolina, they lost 2 straight. They got a good running back in Keaton Mitchell. He averages 7.7 rushing yards per attempt. That's 5th in the country. But however, the reason why I mentioned the third down conversion for South Florida, it's even worse for East Carolina. They're 129th in third down conversion percentage at 25.2%. And they've lost 9 of its last 11 games versus USF. But to the point of Anthony, if I have to choose, because once again, not the biggest fan of this game, I take East Carolina minus 9.5. That's not an indictment on like East Carolina's going to go up there and put up 50. It's just that they have to be better than South Florida. They have to be.
All right. And Greg, I want to get your thoughts on East Carolina, South Florida.
How you have any?
Stay away for you. What?
Stay away. It doesn't fit any of my numbers. None of that. It's the spread's right pretty much where it should be, and it could go either way in my opinion. So I tend to stay away from those.
Yeah, 9.5 seems to be a lot of points for East Carolina. A team of East Carolina's quality. And I know they beat teams like Marshall, but South Florida and East Carolina, both terrible at defense. USF ranked 108, ECU ranked 118.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. The total's 56. I wouldn't be surprised it goes under, to be honest.
Super under.
It'll be one of those where it's just like a battle of ineptness, and it's like going to end up going under. But right. I definitely would be staying away from that game. There's 50-some games a week in college football. You don't have to bet just because it's on Thursday night.
Right. Exactly. Great advice.
The best bet is they don't bet.
Exactly.
Right, and the weather is supposed to be a factor there. I don't have the weather report in front of me. ECU offense averaging 28.7 points, and USF offense 23.9. So that's why that would lend itself towards the under. with 56 points being the 56 and a half now.
Under by a field goal.
Right. Right. So you heard it here.
I miss it at the end. One of them.
I mean, straight up, I would lean East Carolina, just taking the home team, but 9.5 points, like you said, for two bad teams, just too much. A little bit better game for the other game tonight. They're both at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Coastal Carolina hosting Troy. Coastal Carolina coming off a bad loss to Appalachian State, where beginning of that game it looked like all Coastal Carolina, and then Appalachian State scored a touchdown, then it recovered an onside kick and had a bomb for a touchdown right away. It was 14 back to 14-0. Coastal Carolina never recovered. Anthony, what are you thinking about going back to Anthony for a second? What do you think about this game?
This game is very, very interesting. Coastal Carolina, very good home team, but they played easy teams in their conference and big blowouts. They beat out Troy. Is not that bad of a team. 17 points. I'm sorry, it's way too much for Coastal Carolina to cover. I am leaning Troy plus 17. The line keeps going 16.5, 17. I think this is the dog of the day. Troy plus 17. There's just too much hype on Coastal Carolina because every time they play an average to better team in the conference, they struggle. So 17 points, way too much for me. I'm on Troy. I'm not betting this game personally because this is another pass. There's a lot of better games tonight, but I'm leaning Troy plus 17 in this game.
All right, Greg, you wanted to say something before I went to Anthony. How about your thoughts on Coastal Carolina? I know they're back in Myrtle Beach, and Troy isn't an FBS team, though, I don't think, are they?
Yeah.
They are? Okay, so they're in the same division as Coastal. It's a divisional game.
I think that Coastal obviously was somewhat disappointed last week, to say the least. They're going to be on a national televised game. They're ranked 24th in the country. They're going to be on ESPN tonight, or ESPN2, I believe. And I have them winning by at least 20 points with a good majority of my percentages that I typically follow that says they'll cover the spread at home. So 17 is one of those numbers. It's a key number, obviously, when you get into college sports that are big spreads usually like that. But I think they'll just put an ass whooping on them just for statement.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. I mean, after that bad loss to Appalachian State, you got to think Coastal Carolina is going to come out and want to take care of business in front of their home crowd. But like I said, there's the dog of the day is out. But I'm leaning Coastal myself just after that bad loss. I think Troy plays a little bit better defense though than Coastal, but Coastal at number 26 ranked offense, and Troy defense surprisingly ranked 7th. Of course, they don't play the talent of other big programs, so they don't play. They haven't played anybody. Ladarius, any thoughts on this game, side or total?
To me, 17 is a huge number, but I think as you mentioned, Troy is not a terrible team, and you alluded to their defense, which to me is something to look at because they have 31 sacks as a team, and that's first in the country. And 15 of those sacks are between two defensive ends. Richard Gibner has 8 sacks, that's tied for 3rd in the country, and Javon Solomon, who's a freshman, by the way, has 7 sacks, that's tied for 6th in the country. You alluded to their defense 7th in the nation. But something I found interesting is that on the road, they allowed the 7th fewest yards at 78.5. And they've lost the last 2 meetings they've had against Coastal Carolina by a combined 5 points. So they can compete. I'm not saying those Coastal Carolina teams, they're not the same teams that they are, maybe in those meetings. But that's something that stuck out to me. And look at Coastal Carolina. Look, they're 7th in total offense. You got to talk about Grayson McCall. He's 1st in completion percentage in the country. He's also 1st in passing yards per attempt. and their ninth in opposing yards per game. They allow the ninth fewest at 260 yards at home, and they've only allowed 9 sacks. So to me, the big matchup is Troy's front seven versus can they get pressure to Grayson McCall and this offense. So I'm kind of leaning toward the side of Anthony, where I just feel like 16 and a half, 17 is too much. Troy's not terrible. When you look at Coastal Carolina's schedule, I think this may be not maybe one of their tougher games, but I could see Coastal Carolina maybe coming up making a statement. But to me, I would take Troy plus 16 and a half.
All right, you heard it here. We got two on Coastal and 2 on Troy.
But Greg is correct.
I bet you they put up 78 yards in the first quarter, dude.
Yeah.
Take care of that average for
17 is a key number, like Greg said. And you know what? I have been on burn so many times taking plus 17. For example, we had Ole Miss plus 17 at home versus Alabama. We got burned big time. For some reason, I always take the plus 17. This is just a coincidence. I like Troy here. It can really go each way. Coastal could come out firing like they always do, but then Troy could slow the pace down, and that's the only way they're really going to cover or win this is if they slow this pace down. So it's going to be interesting if they know if they can even tame Coastal Carolina.
And the total's sitting there at 50. Coastal Carolina they run the ball a lot too. I don't know. I like that stat that Ladarius threw up there with the combined 5 points between these two teams the last couple of years. That makes you think, but 60...
the total opened at 52.5 and the spread opened at 19. So there's money coming in obviously on the under and and Troy.
Yep. Yeah, but right now, the public's all over Coastal Carolina, so I guess the sharp bets on the Trojans.
Who knows?
We'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah. Another football game, of course, we got in the NFL. The Packers and Cardinals. Man, this has got to be the biggest game of the season for the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals 7-0 at home against 6-1 Green Bay Packers. But the Packers are coming in. They don't have all their bullets in their gun. Let's go. I'll toss it over to Greg first because you've gone last. Past couple times.
It's not the true test they're looking for when you're not at full strength. It's just not. If Arizona blows them out, then obviously it's because Rodgers didn't have his key weapon. I know he's got Randall Cobb, but to be missing Adams is huge. And then if Green Bay ends up winning, then Arizona is maybe not what everybody thinks they are. So it's kind of a tough spot for them either way.
Yeah, and any side or total you like on this game?
I hate the Packers. I'm from Minnesota, so
Right, well,
I don't care though. I always bet the number, and I don't care about teams so much. But Aaron Rodgers in prime time, knowing the odds are stacked against him, is not something I'll bet against, to be honest with you. So I would definitely be looking at taking the Packers +6.
All right, and I'll toss it over to Anthony. Anthony, your thoughts on Packers Cardinals? You got the trends. The Arizona 5-0 against the spread last 5. Green Bay 6-0 against the spread last 6. Something's got to give.
Yeah, you got the Cardinals. They have been playing like elite football. No matter who they played, they have been taking care of business. And they're taking care of business in a very easy manner, and some games flashy. There's now one person on defense in the league right now that can stop. Oh my God, what's his name again? The Cardinals quarterback. I can't remember this guy's name. Kyler Murray. I keep saying Jacobs for some reason. Anyways, Kyler Murray. There's not anyone that can stop this guy. He's a beast. You saw what they did when they played the Rams. That Rams defense surrounded the pocket. Boom, he got free and just had his way with him. Now, the Packers defense, I've been saying this the entire year. They are number 7 defense overall, but they are the most overrated, misleading defense in the NFL. They're not good. They had 3 times in the red zone Washington had last week. Washington, turnover, and gave it up on 4th down. Now, Washington, not a good offense whatsoever, had their time with the Packers defense last week. Drove down in the red zone easily, no problem. Imagine what the Cardinals are going to do to this defense.
But it's the NFL,
already
bro.
That's it. Now, if everybody thinks that Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that, I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers nothing. I'm sitting him in fantasy this week and starting Kirk Cousins. I am not sold on Aaron Rodgers. Too many 3rd and long downs this year. He's been sacked too many times. This has Cardinals by 10. I'm written all over it.
What I tell you last week with Buffalo and the Titans, Steve? What did I tell you?
Yeah,
it's the NFL.
I'm taking the home team.
It's the NFL, brother.
That's it.
You never know.
I'm on the Cardinals. I cannot take the Packers.
Look at the Bengals putting an ass whipping on the Ravens. Who expected that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We had it here, man. We had Bengals plus 6.
We were all over it. All over it.
We play.
Well, that's good. Good for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Even though you went 0-6 on the rest of your card.
Yeah. No. We had a good card. 7-1.
7-1.
That's fire, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, we got Anthony, the Packers secondary. You know, of course, they're missing Jerry Alexander, and Kevin King is questionable. There's so many weapons on the Cardinals at the wide receiver position. You know, you got, of course, D-Hop. You got Christian Kirk and A.J. Green. And then they got some other guys, Rondale Moore and, I forget, Andy Isabella. They got speed out there. Do you think Arizona will be able to take advantage of Green Bay's defense?
I do. I really do. But to me, I want to kind of go back to what Greg said. Like, this is the NFL. And I know on paper, when you don't have maybe the best receiver in the league in Devontae Adams, it looks stacked. But to me, here's the thing with Green Bay. Like, when you talk about Aaron Rodgers, he's 5th in QB in quarterback rating over the last 4 weeks. They still got Aaron Jones, who's 2nd in receptions and receiving yards on the team, and he's 1st, ironically, in receiving touchdowns, not Devontae Adams. But, like, you know, I think Anthony alluded to the fact that their defense, like, they're tied in 7th opposing points per game and 2nd in opposing 3rd downs per game. That, you know, given when you talk about what Anthony talked about with Washington, a team that they should have handled a little bit better, in my opinion. But once again, it's the NFL, and I get that, but it's still Washington's offense. But when I look at Arizona, like, listen, they're 4th in points per game, and Kyler Murray, to me, and this is just me, he's the NFL MVP frontrunner. I think when you look at, like, you know, you alluded to, listen, he's 1st in completion percentage. To me, I talk about that number because, like, accuracy from a quarterback it's pretty good. It's an important stat. And I think, and given, like, the weapons that he does have, A.J. Green, then they added Zach Ertz. So they finally got a tight end, you know, to kind of throw to as well as the speed outside. But I want to talk about their defense. Like, they have 19 sacks as a team, and Marcus Golden has 6 sacks, tied for 7. But here's the one thing I like about Arizona, and it's balance on time of possession. They're in the top 5 in time of possession offensively and opposing average time of possession. They're 3rd in both of those stats to me. Like, this is, to me, when I look at that, they control the clock on both sides of the ball. And to me, it's a huge stat. But if you're asking me to bet against Aaron Rodgers,
yes,
I'm going to take, you know, I was going to be convinced to kind of take the minus, but I'm going to take the +6. I think it's going to be competitive because Aaron Rodgers will find some way to make it a game. Now, am I saying they're going to win the game? No, but I think it's going to be a lot more competitive. Like Lee Corso says, a lot closer than what the experts think, because you have number 12 back there. So I'll take the Packers +6, and I expect maybe you're going to see a lot of Aaron Jones, in my opinion, to kind of make up for the lack of Davante Adams.
Yeah, I mean, I feel I was going to say, building on that, Aaron Rodgers will find other guys to throw to, whether it's Robert Tonyan, Randall Cobb, or Aaron Jones. I imagine they could slow the game down. I look at the Cardinals played the Texans last week, I think. Is that right? And it wasn't that. I mean, the first half at least was pretty low scoring. I think it was. I don't know. I know the Texans had 5 points. But Arizona didn't punch him out like you kind of thought they would. Where just blow them out. But Green Bay is a much.
Cover the spread.
They still covered the spread, right? But they didn't put up huge numbers on the Texans. Green Bay a much better team than Houston. Greg, you're leaning
31-5.
31-5, but I think it was 18-5 at halftime. But
12-point lead.
Right, something like that, or 17-5, 18-5. The defense of Arizona did shut out Houston, but I mean they have no offense. Greg, any thoughts on the total for this game, Cardinals and Packers?
No, I don't really have any total on that. Their idea 50.5. Open at 53 tends to go down. Obviously, people are thinking it's going to go under. It's hard to say, man. Every time I've bet under on the damn Cardinals, they do almost score the points by themselves. So,
right. Anthony, your thoughts on the total?
So Green Bay, like Ladarius said, Aaron Jones, we're going to see a lot of running from the Packers. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, those are the two-headed monster. I don't care. They might have the best two-headed monster next to Cleveland in the league. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb next to them. You got a duo. So Aaron Rodgers does have help in the running game. So 50.5 looks sexy as taking it over with these two teams. And that's what the bookmaker wants you to take is the over. So
yeah.
I'm going to go right back to what I do best. And I'm going to do what the bookmaker wants you to do. And I'm going to take the under. They want you to take the over. I'm on the under.
Good observation.
Yeah, it was kind of the same situation we had with the Saints and Seahawks. They wanted you to hit.
That was easy under, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they wanted you to take that. They wanted you to take that over. It kept going down and down and down, and then here they scored 23 points total. So,
and that's how we came up with the Bengals on Sunday.
Especially these primetime games. That's the biggest.
Yeah, primetime games.
Thursday nights have been a huge under. Huge under. Yeah. I think it was the last 4 Thursdays went under the total.
All right, Ladarius, where are you leaning on the total?
Like Greg and Anthony said, it feels like a trap. It feels like a trap where the over looks great. Like the over walks into a bar, it looks good, but something's off. You don't know what it is, like a red flag. So tempting to take the over, but I'm going to take the under. I expect it to be close, but I'm going to still take the under.
All right, I'm right there with you. I like the under in this game, especially without Davante Adams. He's good for probably a touchdown. And then, DeAndre Hopkins supposed to play tonight. He was questionable. And then, Packers, they've also got Allen Lazard and MVS. I don't know. Do we know if MVS is playing?
He's questionable.
I know he's questionable. Is he? I'm sure we'll probably see him out there. That would help the Packers.
He's not a game changer. Yeah. The only time he's a big game changer is if he goes deep, which he very much will. I mean, it's all he needs to do is go deep. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody on the Cardinals that can keep up with him.
Right, one bomb to MVS, and then that your under is going to be in trouble.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I was going to say that these two teams this season, the under 9 against 5, over under. So 5 times these teams have gone under, and 9 times have gone under, and 5 times over this season. Either way, it's going to be a great game, great to watch. I know I'll be watching tonight. Anthony, we're going to give away
primetime game. Finally.
Yeah. Finally, we got a great primetime game. Best primetime game this season, I think.
Definitely. Overall, yeah. Definitely.
Some of the numbers that I found surprising. Arizona 4-1 straight up their last 5 games at home. Green Bay 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games against Arizona. And then both the total under Green Bay's 4 of their last 5 and 6 of the last 9 of Arizona have gone under. So only thing is we're looking at is which team can cover the spread. All right, so we're going to give away a free play, Anthony.
Yeah, yes we are.
All right, throw that up there. Oh, we're above 500 now. Nice.
I helped last week.
Yeah. That we did. Yep. And we had a good weekend last week on NFL and college football. That helped out here. All right. 8-1 last 9 free plays. Is that right?
That's correct.
Wow. Nice.
We got over 500 so quick.
Right. Nice. I like it. Hot streak here. We got the Wild on the money line at the Seattle Kraken. Any guys, Greg or Ladarius, any money on the Wild tonight or NHL?
No, I like the Wild, but the Kraken. I mean, cool logo and everything. Their jerseys rock, but it's not they're not the Vegas Knights yet so far. So.
Right.
They're
more
NHL so far. Yeah.
How about Ladarius? Any thoughts on Wild and Kraken?
I mean, I'm like Greg. Very snazzy stuff. Like, very snazzy stuff. Like I say, I'm a Seattle Storm fan, so I should lean toward the Kraken. But listen, hey, if you can walk away and say you have cool jersey and a cool logo, that's something. Like that's something.
That's
like yeah, it's like
the Wild were really good last year. So I mean, I think they're gonna, obviously they should win this game. So and they're getting that at one.
The other night, 2 nights ago, they won 3-2.
Yeah,
and that was a much better team they played. So I mean, it should be an easier win for them, hopefully. So take my chances with the Wild.
All right, so we're back here tomorrow night, talking 2 college football games. You got Navy and Tulsa. And UNLV and Nevada, that rivalry. Talking 2 Friday night games, not the most exciting Friday night games. It's a little
Nevada can ball though.
Yeah, that is a rivalry though. That's the game that UNLV has circled every year against Reno. But UNLV, not having the best season at 0.
Kind of like saying OSU and Michigan is the one that Jim Harbaugh has circled every year.
Yeah.
Right. Michigan State.
And we got the World Series.
You better have Michigan State circled for Saturday. That's gonna be a tough game for Michigan, man. Michigan State, they're a well-balanced team, man, offensive and defensive. I mean, this might be Michigan's first loss. I don't know. Any thoughts you guys have on Michigan State, Greg?
Those rivalry games are always tough. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. I doubt I'll have any money on it. I typically stay away from the TV games and everything. That's where they catch you all the time. I tend to stay off the radar for college football.
Yep, Ladarius, Michigan State, real quick.
Real quick. Well, I'm gonna do a preview of the game, but I will say is that I have a beef against. Not say beef against Jim Harbaugh. It's a friendly beef. But I will go into it. But I expect it to be close. Once again, rivalry game. I like what Mel Tucker's doing down there in East Lansing. I'm very impressed.
Yep, former Bears defensive coordinator Mel Tucker got the ship pointed in the right direction. Anthony, quickly, Michigan State.
I haven't even looked at the game yet. I just know it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
I can't say much about it yet.
I expect a close game as well. All right, so we're back here tomorrow, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. Thanks both of you guys for coming on and giving your thoughts on, two crappy games and one excellent game.
Well, we'll see. Might be a crappy game. Who knows?
All
Hopefully, it doesn't disappoint.
All right, folks. We will see you.
50-0 Cardinals.
All right.
50-0 Cardinals.
I don't know. It's very hard to shutting out Aaron Rodgers, man. It's like that's pretty tough.
47-3. 47-3.
All right, we'll see. We'll see which team, is one of the top. I mean, they're both top teams, but which one is one head above the other? So,
go Cardinals.
Yeah, Anthony and I, Bears fans too. We're rooting for the Cardinals too. All right, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern on Maximum Edge Sports Wagering Show. Thanks again for listening.
All right.
And I'm the team captain. He's the preview, and I'm the main attraction. Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible. Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible. Invincible hustle, mighty desire to conspire, to transpire, to be higher.